Before we get started, if you guys need help with trading whatsoever, make sure you follow me on Instagram and send me a message. Also, my program is on a massive sale right now. If you go to rorfx.com or click the link in the description, you guys can sign up. Now, I want to go over how to backtest US30 in this video. I'm going to show you all the setups that I would be personally taking and looking for, and how you guys can really find out how to become extremely profitable on US30. I'm going to show you kind of like my up-to-date strategy, what I've been using to trade lately. So stay tuned. We're going to get into some very important information. If you guys could like this video, that would really show me that you support me and the content that I put out. And as well with that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you know when I'm posting my next videos. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. I'm using the 66 EMA and the 20 moving average, or the 20 EMA as well. And I did start using the stochastics again. Those are my current strategies, or those are my current indicators that I am using. I'm trying to go for more of the simplistic approach. I'm also focusing on more quality versus quantity trades. So I have not, or I started using the 15-minute and above. I'm really focused on the minute 15, minute 30, hour 1, and daily time frame. Usually when I am trading, I'm just going throughout all those time frames and seeing what time frames are giving me a setup and seeing if there's any confluence within all those time frames. So usually I'll go from the higher to the lower time frame. Now I really just want to backtest. Let's go to the first Monday of July. I want to go through the week and just show you guys like how the markets are setting up, the type of trades I'm going to be taking, and the type of trades that I'm going to be avoiding. Now, one thing that you guys need to keep in mind is when we have our Asia session and our London session, that's really going to tell us a lot on what's going to happen during the New York session. But when I see that there's all these big moves happening during the Asia session and the London session, that's telling me that like the New York session is going to be pretty slow. There's obviously going to be moves, but I'm looking for those moves, those days where I'm just seeing 5,000 pip moves where it's just uptrending, forming higher highs and higher lows, not all these jagged moves. So right here, this is a day where I want to avoid being in the markets, or at least I want to avoid being in the markets till later in the New York session, because we see all these wicks. It's very jagged. It's shooting up, then shooting down, consolidating with these really big moves, but the market is not going anywhere. So later on in that session is when the moves are happening. So once I see that the market is not moving as quickly like this and it's not as wicky, once I start seeing that there's wicks facing towards a certain direction, that's when I want to start looking for setups. So overall throughout this whole session right here, I would be like, you know what, I'm good. This is where I probably would have taken a setup right here, is after the spinning top had closed above our moving averages. Also, here's a tip. When you're looking at the moving averages, you want to enter when the moving averages are more flatlined. Like right here, the moving averages were flat. It was rejecting the moving average, and then we start to see it actually start to curve up. So right here is when this would be a really good time to enter into a trade. We have this spinning top, pushes past our psychological level, and then we're going to look for it to hit new market structure, or previous market structure, or psychological level. So once we see these reversal candles start forming and the wicks are to the upside, I'm going to start looking for a different bias, and I'm going to go short. So once I saw this happen, we have this doji right here, and then pushes down to our psychological level, and then overall starts downtrending into the Asia session right here. Now following into the next day, this is like my ideal trade day right here. We did have a big push to the downside on the Asia session, but notice how all throughout the Asia session, going into the London session, it's just consolidating. It's not all jaggedy like this and pushing down and up and down. It's just all over the place right here, moving and making the New York session very hard to go into. Now, as we look at this Asia session going into the London, into the New York, look at how it's just consolidating. And then when the actual New York session opens up, here's the market open, we're already pushing up. So we could tell that our bias is long because this was our highest point of resistance right here. Once this candle, the body of it had broken above it, I knew that we were just going to form a new higher high and we were just going to start pushing up to our next psychological level of 31,250. So once I saw this 5-minute candle close right here bullish, I said, do you know what? I'm going to go long, and that's where I would have entered my buy right here and just aim for this psychological level. And we can see when the market does have these consolidation zones throughout the Asia and the London session, that's setting up for a very big move during the New York session. And that's exactly what we saw right here. The market just pushed up and there's zero effort. Within 15 minutes, this trade had shot up 2,500 pips. So that's what I'm looking for, is those big moves that are occurring very quickly and very effortlessly. This next day is going to be a Wednesday, and we can see that we did have a news event right here at 5:30 a.m. So when I see that there's news events going on, I'm not going to be trading that day. And especially on Wednesdays, I am not going to be trading Wednesdays. I was trading Wednesdays. It just kept getting hammered on these Wednesdays. It's like, do you know what? Why did I even start trading Wednesdays again? I'm stupid. So this day would have been a skip. And you can see the same thing. Wednesdays are known for being extremely, they're just really choppy on Wednesdays. And we see that. It shot down, pushed up. Here's the market open, false breakout, shot up when it should have went down, pushed down to form this low, then just all over the place. These are not ideal markets that you want to be trading. This right here, though, ladies and gentlemen, is a very nice day. We can see that we did have our market open right here. Our previous candle to the market open was a reversal candle or a continuation candle to the downside. Definitely would have been a nice sell right there. But at the end of the day, we can't really tell what's going to happen next. I mean, I would like to have rolled this down to our next psychological level of 30,000, but it did not even get close to breaching that level. So once I saw that I had caught myself in these, once again, here's those wicks, it's starting to get all jagged and stuff. Once I was out of this zone, I would have let this consolidation build up and I would have waited for a break to the upside or a break to the downside. Now this was our low of the session right here. We can see that it did consolidate. So I would have been looking for buys at this point in time. Also, stochastics are super oversold right here. So this is when we're going to start switching our bias to longs. Once I saw this candle right here, the body of it break above this candle's wick, this candle's wick, this candle's wick, I knew that this was going to be a good buy opportunity. Also notice the lowest wick was on this candle right here. Notice how the wicks on the bodies of the candles started to push higher and higher and higher till this body engulfed all these candles' bodies and actually closed above our psychological level of 30,250. Once we see that happen, I'm going to start saying to myself, do you know what? This is where we're going to go long. I'm going to buy right here, and I'm simply not going to go crazy. I'm going to just target my next psychological zone right here, 30,500. Pushes up to form a higher high. Here's our higher low where we could have caught another entry. Right here on this doji would have been a good entry. And also, if we do bring up our fibs from this low of this wick to the high of this candle's wick, we can see that we are coming down and testing these key levels. It did barely miss our negative or a 0.62 level on the fibs, but once we saw that the dojis were starting to close above the 50% and even the body of this candle closed above the 38.2 level, I knew that we were going to be looking for buys at this point in time. Now we can see that it started to push up and hit our psychological level. Yes, this is on the minute 15 time frame, so the duration of this trade would have been a little bit longer. It would have been 3 hours. So this is more so a trade where you're just going to set it and you're going to forget it. You're going to let the markets do their thing at this point in time. Okay? Going into Friday. Friday is another day where I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to take one trade on Friday. So when it comes to Fridays, I'm taking one trade and one trade only. We could see that the market open was right here, was pushing up, then it pushed down. So we do have a higher low right here. Once this doji did close, I would have went long. and continued to ride it to the next psychological level. So realistically at this point in time, this is where the action steps come in. Go through US30 on the minute 15 from all the way to July 1st to today's date. See how the market plays out on certain days. See if there's news events occurring on certain days, and just really do this to get feedback and understand how US30 works. This is how I formulated my strategy for US30, and this is when I found out the days that I need to be trading and the days that I should not be trading. Also, you guys see how we have this big move already happening pre-market open session? What did it do during the Asia session? Into the London session, it just consolidated. There weren't any big moves. It wasn't jaggedy or anything like that. It was simply just consolidating, and the consolidation was going into an uptrend. So at the end of the day, this is what you need to be looking for if you want to have these really big moves play out during the session of the New York session. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.